Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. I want to talk about the Moondrop Nameless. These are a pair of earphones which are distinct from IEMs, which in-ear monitors for those who don't know. IEMs are similar to these right here. These are the Moondrop Quarks, another offering from the same company, as well as the Moondrop Arias right here. This is with a custom cable. Earphones are interesting because usually when people think of earphones, they think of those shitty headphones that they get um, with the come like packaging with your phone or like some cheap tech or whatever. Here, hold on. I have right here the the earphone that came with the PS4. I don't know if they bundle these in anymore. Um, but I had a launch PS4, and this is the one they gave with. It's only one, and it has a mic in here, and it's tingled like shit. I never tested it. I never used this because I had no use for it. Um, but yeah, usually people associate earphones with this, right? It sounds like garbage. Not these. These are really good, and I don't really see many people talking about them, which is kind of disappointing because given that they're about $20, uh, they're excellent. Um, I think personally speaking, they sound very similar to the the cost offerings that are around the same price. These are the Porta Pros right here. I haven't tested the KPH 30Is or um, what's the other ones? Uh, is it the KCH 7? The something to 75s, the clip-on ones. Um, I'm not sure. I think they use a very similar driver, but in general, they all have a very similar sound signature, which is, I feel I can describe it as crisp. And these have a very similar sound signature to that, except being an earphone. Um, so they have a slightly better seal. They don't have much of a seal. These are essentially an open back uh, IEM if you want, like if you want to stretch the definition a little bit, because they have a very similar sound to the Porta Pros. Like I said, these are the Yaxi pads I put on here. Um, and what do I mean by crisp, right? Crisp I mean that they tend to lean a little bit heavier into the high ends, um, and they don't really have much of a response into lower frequencies, which might be a deal breaker for some, and that generally means that the bass response won't be as good. Um, but for certain type of tracks, like I was listening to um, Yuki Kajiura's The World, uh, the Fiction Junction version live, it's great. It's I wouldn't say it's orchestral. It's more of a folk. Uh, I guess it's more folk oriented. It's got a lot of strings in there. It's got some female vocals as well, and I think it lends itself pretty good to this. I was also listening to the crap. Where was it? Um, let's see if I could search it. Strings. The Rose and Maiden Strings Sound album, which is exactly what it sounds like. Great as well. Same thing with piano. It sounds very crisp. It sounds that tend to, uh, I guess more natural sounds will be good with this, and it's a very clean type of sound that these will be able to produce, and I think for $20 they're quite good. They're one of the first headphones that I've tried in recent years that, well, besides the Pro Pros, and the funny thing is they have a very similar sound signature, but they were some of the first headphones in recent years that I've tried that were able to, I guess, like impress me. Um, Not only just because they sound so good for $20, but because the sound they were able to produce was so clean that I felt that this, regardless of the price, like if these were $30, $40, I think I would buy them because they sound so good. Um, I guess onto the unit themselves, like right here, you can't really pick it up on camera. My only gripe is that the right and left um, markings are really hard to see. And also putting these little foam things on was a pain in the ass. But once you get them on, you really don't have to worry about it. I have the packaging somewhere over here. Hold on. The box came in. Like, it's a pretty nice box. It doesn't really give you too much stuff in here. It's not like there's replacement ear tips or whatever because they're an earphone. There's a little carrying case. I don't really care about the carrying case because it's kind of small and it's just a pouch. So these are good. But if they're going to be your only headphone purchase, don't buy them. A little bit of a comparison here. These are the Moondrop Quarks, which go for about $12 or $15. In the same company, very similar sound signature. Moondrop tends to play it safe and go towards the Harman curve, which is more of a neutral sound. These Quarks are good. I think they're better than the Nameless, but the Nameless are more fun. The Nameless is a much more interesting headphone, whereas the Quarks, I guess they sound really good for the price, but they have really nothing to offer as well. And I think that's one of the problems with playing it safe with the neutral sound signature, because the Quarks sound very similar to these other Sony headphones that I've used. I don't even know the model number. Like these were the first headphones that I bought, and they're quite good, especially for a consumer grade product that they sell in stores and whatever for like $15. These are much more V-shaped. These are much more. I'd say these do have a bit of a V shape, but they're slightly more neutral. These definitely are more bass heavy, which is why they're tuned towards the consumer. But we don't care about those, right? We care about the Nameless. The Nameless are fun. They're crisp. It makes listening to certain types of music more fun now, especially like soundtrack. Like I just searched strings, but we got a couple other stuff here. Like this Joe Hisashi piano collection. I want to listen to it with the Nameless now because they have such an interesting spin that they will put onto my music that you can't really get from other headphones. I mean, they might be similar to the 6XXs in terms of how they're somewhat neutral, but like I said, the closest thing I can compare it to is the Koss Porta Pros, and I love the Koss Porta Pros. My biggest gripe with the Porta Pros is that they're uncomfortable as heck to wear. I think I have somewhat of a big head, so I always have to stretch. Like I had to put these things like at the maximum size and then put it on my head and then slightly adjust it from there. But they're not that comfortable to wear for long periods of time because they start to slip off my ears. Like they slide forward and shit. I don't like that. That's my biggest complaint with that. Maybe I'll like the 30i's or the 75, whatever. Shit, man, I hate when these companies use like stupid names with a bunch of letters and numbers that mean nothing. Moondrop's better. Also, Moondrop includes anime girls in their packaging. Shit, I had the Aria box somewhere over here. Look up the Aria box. This is the real box. And crap, I have it over here too. I just have a bunch of boxes around. This is the Neko Cakes, which are their newest TWS offering. I think it's the newest model in general. Has a Catgirl assistant. You know, like with Bluetooth headphones, it's like Bluetooth on, Bluetooth connected, power off. This one has a cute cat girl telling you those things, and like as soon as I heard that, I bought it. The headphones themselves are very mediocre. I would say the Quarks sound better than the freaking Neko Cakes, but the Neko Cakes are TWS, so they're more convenient for stuff like that. And it has a fairly good active noise canceling feature, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm getting sidetracked now. I really don't know how to explain headphones that well, but the Nameless are a very fun headphone, specifically for traditional instrumental tracks. I would say they specifically are able to pull off well. I would say anything electronic, metal, stuff that gets a little bit more technical with the amount of instruments you start throwing around there, these start to fall apart. Though that isn't to say that they're not able to listen well to those types of tracks. I just say that when I was listening to a lot of like J-pop and vocal music, they sound good. J-rock as well. I was listening to a bit of math rock on these. But I would say that excel the most with like traditional orchestral tracks and like stuff that you'll find in soundtracks, piano music, stuff like that. They're also pretty good for just watching YouTube or whatever. Watch some anime with them. So if you don't like IEMs, if you don't like sticking this stuff in your ear, definitely check out the Nameless. I don't really see too many people talking about these, but they're a really fun pair of headphones, and I definitely recommend them. And yeah, also this is the amp right now. We got that T drive sticker on there right now. These stickers make my J-pop flacs sound better, by the way.